This is an awkward silence.
Well, you don't want to start talking.
Hello, everybody. I hope you enjoyed watching Who Killed Nelson Nutmeg. I still find it a very enjoyable film. My name's Ross Boyask. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the creative director at Evolutionary Films. We sell the movie internationally, and we're the UK distributor. We're very proud to be that. Joining us today for a Q&A about the film are the writers and directors and producers of the film. We have Danny Stack and Tim Clegg. Say hello, everybody.
Hey. All right, Nutmeggers.
It's great to see you. I see you have a mini Nelson waiting by your side, Faith.
He don't go out much, Ross, you know, so he's pleased to see himself on the big screen always. We still have the big Nelson Nutmeg, the full size Nelson Nutmeg, but at the moment he's in the studio and we can't go to the studio to get him, otherwise we'd have brought him out.
Oh, maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Thank you so much for everyone joining us. We're really glad to be able to say hello to you. Stick around because towards the end of this session, we are going to be doing a competition where you can win a DVD of a film.
Right.
Proud owner of one of these. Fantastic. So we're going to jump straight into some questions for Tim and Danny. Fairly basic, guys. How did Who Killed Nelson Nutmeg come to be? Tell us a little bit about how you wrote the film and how you got the film going.
Well, loath as I am to give him credit, it was all Tim's idea, depending on which viewing window is coming up.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah. So it was Tim's idea initially. We had done some work together and we were doing a podcast together. And then Tim, as he was making me a cup of tea one day, said we should make a children's film together. So it was a bit of an inspired idea from Tim, and then we just took it from there, pretty much.
Yeah, we really used to enjoy. You're too young, Ross. You're too young.
I'm not that young.
Little Ross, you're too young to remember. There used to be a thing called Children's Film Foundation. So mums and dads, grandmas and granddads, they might remember, right? Okay.
I remember them.
Remember those? Okay. And so this was something that was a long time ago, 1960s and 70s. And it was like a special fund. And it used to raise money and then they would make children's movies to show at the cinema. And they were quite low budget, you know, not like a big movie today, but fun, you know, and it was always with kids in it. And they don't really make those anymore. But we thought, well, just because the fun's gone, we could still maybe do a movie that was sort of in that style of the kids doing something and going on an adventure themselves, not about grown-ups so much, but about kids kind of solving a mystery or whatever. So that kind of, I wasn't in that initial chat with Danny, but that's once we started it, that's what it turned into as a kind of inspiration.
One of the things I love most about the film is that I really feel like it speaks to kids on their level. I mean, I know it's easy for me to say at my age. It always feels, it never feels like the film is condescending to kids. They really do lead what's going on, and I think that's really lovely. It's one of the things that I really enjoyed the most about the film. So actually getting onto that, how did you actually cast the kids, like the kids in the movie? How did you find them and what was that like?
Well, we had a very thorough casting process. This is the one thing we did right above all else with the film, I think. We spent about 6 months casting. First of all, just contacting our local acting groups to see who would be interested and to see who, emerging talent from there. And then we did an open casting day down in the Lighthouse Pool, where we live. We live in Bournemouth and Poole, and there's a great art centre called the Lighthouse Pool, and they gave us the kind of building for the day, and we did an open casting, not knowing who would turn up, but 300 kids turned up.
Wow!
And that was just like, that was towards the end of our casting process, actually, but we did manage to find 2 of the cast members from that day, so it was well worth it. So we went through a pretty thorough casting process, auditions and filming them, mixing the kids together to see who looked best together, all of that kind of stuff. But it was a lot of fun, as you can imagine, meeting Woody and all that kind of thing for the first time.
Fantastic. That's great. I mean, I actually went to university in Bournemouth and Poole, so I know that area really well, and there's some amazingly talented people down there. I suppose one of the things we should talk about, one of the other characters of the film is the actual holiday camp where they all are. How did you find that? Like, how did you get sort of like an organization like that involved? What was it like filming there?
Well, it was great filming there. What we did was we wanted to really make the most of what we have down here, Ross. You know, as you said there, you know, you've been down here yourself, and we know we didn't have a lot of things to make the movie with. You know, we didn't have a lot of money, not like sort of big American movies. So, but one of the things we do have is those great locations. So we started off actually just looking online on you know, Google Maps kind of applications, having a look around and going along all the coast. And then we identified a few places that looked promising from there, and we'd go down and have a look. But our favorite was always Freshwater. It's called Freshwater Beach. That's where it's filmed. Lovely place. I mean, it's not, we're not really pretending it's something it isn't. That is just what it's like. You know, there's no kind of special effects, or we've not made the cliffs higher or anything like that. It's really as awesome as that, and people should go if they're ever down this way. And just fantastic place, and they were so supportive about it, and we just enjoyed going there because we filmed only at the weekends, because then the kids could go to school. They were a bit upset about that. They thought they'd be getting off school, and so we just filmed at the weekend. So it's like a holiday kind of every weekend for us. It was super time, didn't we, Danny? We go down and have a nice time and go to the restaurant there and everything.
Right.
You know, it's just a fantastic place, fantastic people there.
I went to a holiday park for the first time about a year ago when we were filming, and we stayed in a holiday camp. And I've got to say, it was one of the most fun and enjoyable experiences I've had in a long time.
Yeah.
As an adult, I adored being there. I really did. I loved it. Let's talk a little bit more about the adult cast. We'll be bringing on Russell and Mark soon. But tell us a little bit about Bonnie Wright, of course, who everyone knows from Harry Potter primarily. How did she get involved?
It was Tim's idea to approach her, which I thought was a really great idea. But we didn't know her at all, and we didn't have any contacts that could hook us up with her. But what we did was we just contacted her agent and explained exactly what we were trying to do, and that we would love Bonnie involved. And Bonnie just agreed to read the script, and if she liked it, she'd have a chat with us. And that's pretty much what happened. In fact, just linking it up to one of the casting chats we were having earlier, we spoke to Bonnie at the end of confirming our cast, basically. So it was an exciting time to kind of link all of that up, as it were. But Bonnie was just amazing, just because she just read the script and she kind of really knew what we were trying to do. And she didn't know us, but she said, I'll do it if you can make the schedule work for her, which obviously we did. And it was great, yeah. Tim picking her up from Dorchester South train station, I think it was, on a Friday night.
Yeah, just in my car.
It's fantastic. She really I really think she gets stuck into the role, you know. So
yeah.
You know. So speaking of cast members, I think we should bring in Mark and Russell to have a chat. Let's see if they will magically appear with us. Oh no, we do. We appear to be having guests. Oh, hang on.
Mark, you're on, man. You're on.
Yeah, we're working. I was just saying what tyrants Tim and Danny are. Yeah. Sorry. Hi. Working with Tim and Danny is one of the highlights of my career.
Hello to Mark and Russell. Perhaps Mark, then Russell, if you introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your characters. Mark, if you'd like to go first.
Yeah, hi. My name's Mark Freestone, and I played Uncle Derek. And I'm just realizing how much grayer I am now than I was then.
And Russell?
Hi, I'm Russell. I'm Mr. Slug. And Mark, you've got nothing to worry about. At least you've got the opportunity to go great.
So, fairly straightforward questions, guys. Let's talk a little bit about how you actually found out about the film and how you got involved and cast and so forth.
Do you want to answer that, Russell?
No, you go first, Mark.
Okay. Well, Tim actually contacted me because I've done a bit of work with Tim before in some corporate film work and things like that. Always had a good laugh with Tim. And he told me about this character, and I thought, yeah, brilliant. Local film, kids movie. You know, I love the story, so it was a no-brainer, really.
Great. And Russell?
Yeah, rather similar. Tim rang me up. I was rehearsing for a stage show at the time, and he said, "Do you want to do it?" And I said, "Well, you know, he's going to force me." He forced me. Came down for an audition, and we had really good laugh. Danny and Tim are really good at making you feel relaxed when auditioning. When you're going through the audition process, and showed me the clothing I was going to wear, and of course, I was just sold on the idea.
Fantastic.
You love boiler suits, don't you, Russell?
Absolutely.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't love those?
The thing with Russell, I first met Russell at an event at Pool Lighthouse where we had that open audition, but at a separate function. I can't quite remember what it was. And, you know, Russell was saying he loves to do movies. He wanted to do more films. He'd done a few short films. And he says, you know, but he always gets typecast in as the kind of the heavy, the bouncer,
the romantic lead.
and always like, it's always like quite a dark grown-up film, you know. And when it was Danny that came up with the idea of Mr. Slug and the name Mr. Slug, and I remembered that conversation that I'd had with Russell, and just thought he'd love to, you know, a chance to, because I know him as, you know, is a hilarious guy to hang out with, and I just thought we need to get some of that on screen at last. He's not used to getting praise, bless him. And well, obviously, you know, we'd never work with him again now, but yeah, we had a good time then, you know.
So we actually had a question from one of the audience members, Daisy, aged 4.
Daisy.
Yeah, hello, Daisy. Thank you for watching. Daisy, aged 4, has actually asked, this is an actor-specific question, by the way, how do you remember all of your lines? I would actually say, did you remember all of your lines? And then if you did, how did you remember them?
I think from my point of view, it's slightly easier in a film than it is in the theatre. Obviously, a film, you've got much shorter snippets of dialogue that you have to remember. So, and if you get it wrong, you don't want to get it wrong too many times, but if you do, they can do a retake. So I think it's just, when you've learnt your lines, the lines just seem to come naturally. It's, the next line is the next line for me, you know, once you've learnt them properly.
Russell?
What is this thing called line learning? To be honest with you, I had it quite easy. Mark and the other cast members had a lot more to remember than I ever did. I just had to look moaning, groaning, miserable and grumpy, and that's quite natural for me.
One of the funniest things in the film is Russell, you know, when Billy's on top, when Colonel's on top of the caravan, or no, when she's going to run, and you think you're going to surprise her around the side of the caravan, and that noise that you make, it's just hilarious. The non-verbal stuff.
We've actually had a question specifically for Russell as well. Jake, aged 8, the audience are growing in maturity, has asked,
Hello, Jake.
Hey Jake, again, thank you for watching. Jake asked, what was the slug that Russell ate really made of?
Well,
Was it made of bark?
Oh, I don't want to get into trade secrets here. All I can do, and I think Tim will agree with me, is that no real slugs were harmed in the making of that film.
No,
and I think Tim will actually tell you what the recipe was. But the first time I did it, it was fine and it tasted really nice. But by about take 9, it was a bit much.
Fair enough. For the two of you as well, again, probably a fairly obvious question. What was it like working with the kids?
For me, they were great. They were great. I mean, there was no ego moments. I mean, if we moved Mark to one side for a moment.
Yeah.
And no, honestly, there was no ego moments. And yet again, back to Tim and Danny, they made it work, but it was also fun. It was humorous. And the kids, we ate together. You know, we were all in the same room together. You got moved on to set as and when you did. But I think there was such great camaraderie between the cast, the crew, and everybody. It almost, you forget that you were actually working and you did it for the pure fun of it. And that's absolutely marvelous. And that's really down to Tim and Danny.
Yeah, it was very much like a family feel. I mean, I didn't have as, you know, obviously the children had way more sort of time on the filming it, but just to come in and feel that kind of family atmosphere was amazing, and the kids were just brilliant. They were such fun to be with. Like Russell said, no side to them. They were just, and the timing, their comic timing, which you see in the film, is just incredible.
Yeah, I always think it's interesting that in a lot of films, just on a personal level, when I watch a comedy, it's really nice when you see the comedy playing out in a scene rather than lots of cuts, if that makes sense. When you see it played out properly in a scene, I always think, and I just think for anyone watching really, that I think you can always tell the timing is better that way. If that makes there's more chemistry between people, you keep people together and you watch how they react from each other. Funny enough, we've had a scheduling question.
Okay, good.
I like it.
Let's get into the detail.
We're getting really nitty gritty here.
Let's get into the detail. Young filmmakers.
Yeah. We have Rory and Leo, who very kindly watched the film. Hello, Rory and Leo. Have asked, how long did it take to shoot the film if you only worked a weekend? So they're paying attention to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And how long might it have taken if you'd worked essentially a full week? It's a good question, actually. My first films were made, very low budget films. We literally shot on weekends and evenings and things. And it's certainly, it's been. Have you got some information you could tell?
I mean, we shot 30 days. So just to sort of say 30 days we went out to film. So, we could have done it in a month if we did every day. So in the end, what we did was we needed to do a block of time for Bonnie because she had a couple of other projects. So we couldn't do the weekend thing with Bonnie. So we did all of Diane's scenes right at the end at half term. So we shot at the weekends and then we did half term with Bonnie and the kids. So it wasn't just the weekends. We then did we finished off with a sort of a 5 or 6 day, can't quite remember what it was, Danny, but 5 or 6 day at the half term right at the end. So we could have done it quicker, but also what it meant was that we could do a bit of preparing and rehearsing in the weeks as well. So as people on a limited budget, it did help us a little bit to kind of pace it out slightly.
Just to say, Ross, we started at the end of August, but then we finished at half term at the end of October that Tim was referring to there.
Yeah.
So
fantastic. We're getting quite a few questions coming in, guys. I'm trying to figure out how to put all in, which is amazing. Thank you everyone for your questions. We'll do this one fairly quick. I think Nadia, age 9. Hello, Nadia. We want to give everyone a shout out for saying hello. Thank you. Age 9 asked, what was your favorite scene to film? If you go in order, maybe Tim, Danny, then Mark, then Russell. What was your favorite scene to film?
My favorite scene was when Woody peed in the pool.
Why? maybe we
lemon sherbets.
Because Ross, it was so cold, and I was just laughing at poor young Woody having to go in. And
it wasn't autobiographical or anything, was it?
No, but that was my favourite. I always laugh when I see it. No.
Brilliant.
Danny, you'll go.
My favourite is Cyclops, when the girls find Cyclops for the first time in his weird caravan with all his weird gadgets and his weird cross-eyed looks. So he was really great to work with, and we had a lot of fun with that character. So he's my favourite and that scene.
That's brilliant. Mark?
I love the scene with the little girl, Anne Swindon, in the little Wendy house when she's offering him tea. She was just so funny.
She's so grown up.
It's called imagination.
Yeah, she's so grown up in it as well.
I know.
Fascinating.
She improvised her lines as well.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Every time different. Yeah.
Oh,
genius.
That's brilliant. Russell?
Oh gosh, so many. For me, my own personal favourite is running across the beach on pebbles, and I'd never really considered how difficult it is to run across a beach that's made of pebbles. And I don't know if we actually see it in the movie, but there's a bit where the camera pans to me and Mark after we've nicked somebody's drink, and we just look at the camera and go,
15 takes as well for that.
Kubrick. We shouldn't be mentioning Kubrick, probably. That's fantastic. So we'll do a couple more questions, then we're going to have a quotes quiz for you. So prepare your knowledge. Rebecca, age 7, and from Pool
Oh yeah.
asks, nice one, Pool Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Why did Nelson Nutmeg look at the camera after the credits? And will there be another film?
What a great question.
Yeah, we always did talk about another film, and we always thought it'd be quite fun to do quite a bit later. So it would be about there's not much more we could do at that time, but we thought, many years later, maybe Uncle Derek and Mr. Slug are out of prison, the kids are more grown up, and maybe even they've got children themselves. So a kind of be very much a next generation kind of a thing. That would be the sort of story we'd want to tell.
Yeah, not make the next generation.
Kind of thing, yeah. Kind of thing.
Absolutely.
In a wheelchair, buddy.
That's all right. You can run people over, Russell.
Opening credits, me pushing you along in a wheelchair.
Yeah, there we go.
That could be an amazingly inventive chase scene, couldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Now we're talking.
Oh, don't give Tim ideas because he'll do it.
Yeah, I'll do it now.
So Ezra, age 3, hello Ezra, loved the film, of course, and his mum would like to know where she can actually buy it. Thank you, Ezra, and thank you, Ezra's mum.
Best question ever.
Are you Ezra, Ross? Is that you?
It's not like an anagram of Ross. That would be really strange. Film's available on all digital platforms for sure. iTunes, Amazon, and all of those.
Sky Store, yeah.
Yeah, if you go to nelsonnutmeg.com, then there's links there, and also on the streaming where people just watched it, I saw that you'd put some there as well, Ross.
Yes,
so,
yes, absolutely.
There's a book as well, isn't there?
Follow the social media.
Yeah, there's books. There's all sorts of things for people
There's
to pick up.
also the chance to win one.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Just saying. Please.
What a link.
The YouTube channel. Let's not get too commercial. Children now. Let's go to a quotes quiz. I don't know how up you all are on your children's films quotes.
Let's find out.
Really simple. Just shout them out if you know them. First come, first served. No, Russell. Russell, it's not that bad, I promise. I mean, it might be.
It might be.
10.
Yeah.
For 10. So let's try this. Here's the thing about wishes. The more you have, the more you want. Any guesses?
Ooh.
Willy Wonka.
Got to be Aladdin.
Yeah.
Yes, Danny has it. Well done.
What is it?
The genie from Aladdin. The genie from Aladdin.
Of course it
Well
is.
done, Danny. I am not going to be keeping score, so it's up to you to be self-regulating.
All right.
Just ends in nil.
2. Ladies don't start fights, but they can finish them.
Oh.
Moana.
Oh, good guess. Not
Good
quite.
guess.
Ladies don't start fights, but they can finish them.
Lady in
Frozen.
the Tramp.
No, but getting very close.
With Frozen or Lady and the Tramp.
Lady of the Tramp is much closer.
Oh.
I'll give you
Before my time.
That's
101 Dalmatians.
very, very close, but it's another type of animal.
Dumbo.
Aristocrat.
Yeah,
Aristocats.
yes, that's Marie from the Aristocats.
All right, great.
Who got that one? I don't know.
Doing very well. I don't know who got that one.
Russell. I think Russell got that.
Russell
Russell
did.
after, yeah.
Excellent.
Never happened again.
No, number 3. I'll speak properly. The very things that hold you down are going to lift you up.
Up?
No.
Good guess.
I'll give you a
Just
small
trying to
clue.
say
I'll give you
easy.
a small clue.
Shrek.
Dumbo.
Yeah, thanks for the Shrek, but no, it's Dumbo. I'm feeling really
He has got ears, hasn't he?
I'm feeling very self-conscious now, guys, but it was correct. Hopefully this one will be an easier one.
Yeah.
Forget about your worries and your strife.
Jungle Book.
Jungle Book.
Correct. Excellent. Straight in.
Fast,
Number 5. We're getting through them. Number 5. A true hero isn't measured by the size of his strength, but by the strength of his heart.
Nelson Nutmeg.
Oh, maybe. No. A true hero, there's a clue there, isn't measured by the size of his strength.
Is it Big Hero 6?
By the no.
Aye.
Think more classical hero. A true hero.
Hercules.
Correct.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
I think Mark's storming this.
Mark is
I'm
going
on it.
Right. Number 6. When life gets you down, do you know what you've got to do? Just keep swimming.
Oh yeah.
Finding Nemo.
Yep, correct. Story of
Got one at last.
Let you have that. Tim.
Number 7. If you don't get this one, to infinity and beyond.
Toy Story.
Yeah. Is it Ross?
No, Toy Story.
Whoever got that first, yes. 3 left, guys. We're nearly there. Always let your conscience be your guide.
And always let your
Is
conscience
that
be
Pinocchio?
your guide.
Correct, Pinocchio.
With a little
Oh,
yeah.
well done, Jiminy Cricket.
Mark sings. Does he
Cricket.
get extra for that?
Two left, and this one I am going to do an impression. So brace yourselves.
Okay.
Right, okay.
I never look back, darling. It distracts me from the now.
Is it Incredibles?
It is.
Oh,
Got it because of the impression, Ross. That's how good that impression was.
Edna Mode, Ross.
Very good Welsh, Ross. I'm impressed.
That's my only Welsh. Last one. Some people are worth melting for.
Frozen.
Correct. So who got what? Because I
I don't know.
I don't know, but Mark looked ever so serious. He was
I
taking
think I
that
got-
so seriously.
Although Mark was just shouting out Frozen for everything, so you know.
Frozen's got to be one of them.
Yes,
Mark and
absolutely.
Tim have got 3.
Well, let's just say that everybody won.
Yeah.
So, do we have any more questions? Oh, that's good. Oh, I was just told, but I was told by the creator, obviously. Mark and Tim both got 3, so congratulations, Mark and Tim.
Okay,
There we go. Excellent work.
Well done, Tim.
you get 3 out of 10.
Question off.
That was a lot of fun.
3 out of 10.
Let's have a look. Oh, there's just a few more questions actually before we sort of wrap up. I think we might have another one. Bear with me one moment. Really good question. Diane has a question, not Diane from the film, but thank you for watching, Diane. Where is Nelson Nutmeg now? What do you all think? Where is Nelson Nutmeg?
Behind Tim.
Yeah, that's there.
He's been shrunk.
Yeah, it's like, where's Waldo? Where's
Yeah,
Nelson?
you just put water on him and he goes full size again, you see.
One question I actually meant to ask previously was, how did you come up with the design for Nelson Nutmeg? Did you create him, or was he based on an existing costume, so to speak?
Well, he's a squirrel, so red squirrels being kind of protected species down here in Dorset. We linked that up. Tim had the idea to link it up to Lord Nelson, Admiral Nelson, and then Nelson Nutmeg. The name was just a nice, cute name. So we still got the costume. The costume is down in our studio, so anybody can wear him and go out and be Nelson Nutmeg. So yeah, and we had a great costume designer make the costume. So yeah.
Excellent.
All worked out pretty well.
Little question for Mark and Russell. Do you think, I have this thing about what we would call movie villains, the bad guys and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, because I do, that Uncle Derek and Mr. Slug might be misunderstood?
Finally. Yeah, I mean, he's just trying to do his best, and there's not a lot of money to be made in the sort of caravan park. So he's just very enterprising. He thinks outside the box.
He's an innovator.
He's a blue sky thinker. He's just trying to make the most of it. And I think he is misunderstood.
A return of Uncle
I don't think Mr. Slug actually understood anything. He just does as he's told. Basically.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense. Let's have a quick look. So, here we go. Did any of you go to holiday camps as kids or as adults, in fact, aside from filming?
Well, not where I've been allowed back.
It's an
Wasn't the last one?
Yeah, it's an autobiography really of Russell. No, I didn't do it too much in the style that they have it in the movie.
Yeah.
But you would go on various things. And to me, actually, what I was thinking back to is more like school trips and things like that, because that would often be, then there'd be a group of you as kids kind of going around doing things, and sometimes you'd stay overnight and so on. So I was more referencing stories, I guess, from when I went on school trips and that kind of thing. I don't know. What about you, Danny? Did you ever go to those sort of?
Not caravan parks, but caravan holidays. So it'd be just you in a caravan in the middle of a field, almost Father Ted style.
Oh, so you're Cyclops then? You were Cyclops?
Yeah, I was Cyclops, yeah.
Oh, so there is some
you can see why he likes that character now, yeah?
There's some biographical aspects to it.
I definitely did go to caravan parks exactly the same as that. I grew up first 10 years of my life in Derby in the Midlands, which is about the furthest away from any beach you can get in the country. And so we used to go down to Weymouth to exactly the same kind of holiday park as that. So filming there in those little narrow caravan, amazing, lovely caravans, such good memories for me. You don't need to go to Las Vegas, you know. Those caravan parks are amazing.
You can't find those in Las Vegas, can you?
I don't know.
I don't think. Caravanning in Las Vegas. We've had another question from another Bournemouth chap, Adam from Bournemouth. Thank you very much for asking a question. He's actually asked a question for all of you. Which of the kids are you most like?
Which of the kids?
Yeah, let's go Tim, Danny, Mark, Russell.
Well, I was probably most like Woody growing up, but my favourite character is actually the Colonel. Yeah, I like the Colonel, and used to enjoy working with Hattie, who plays the Colonel, you know, on that character a lot. But actually, I was never like the Colonel. I was more like Woody.
I think the Colonel was fantastic, actually. I was going to ask, like, was there a reason that she had that military aspect, really?
No, but I did know a kid like that growing up, that everything was army all the time, you know, and like, whatever you were doing, he'd spin it around. So it's probably based a bit on this kid, yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Danny?
Well, Cyclops aside, yeah, I really like Swindon. And again, Swindon was actually Tim's idea for a character, but he came out really well in the film and played really well by Jonah Armstrong.
Alexander.
And yeah, so Swindon, just nice, quirky character, and stood out nicely amongst that group, I thought. Yeah, nice.
Brilliant. Mark?
Yeah, I was going to say Swindon as well, actually, because I was very imaginative, lots of sort of stories made up in my own head, you know, making up theories and conspiracy theories and stuff like that. So yeah, and with a mix of the Colonel, because I was also quite into war. I used to get Warlord and Battle Picture Weekly. Remember those?
They were wonderful.
Yeah, I was absolutely in that. So we had our own Warlord club and everything. So a mix of both.
Brilliant. Russell?
Oh, difficult. I think all the kids had great attributes. There's something you like about all of them. But I think the biggest kid there was Mr. Slug, and I love me.
Mr. Slug is still a kid. He's still a kid, basically.
He's the most childish out of all the cars, isn't he?
Brilliant. Just something. Obviously, the film is finished and out there, and you know we're getting this screenings, I think, but really, really well online. Tell us a little bit about the screenings that you've actually had of the film, like with an audience. Tell us a little bit about. I remember the Prince Charles Cinema screening was wonderful. Lovely feedback, everybody. Would you like to go into a little bit about the various screenings you've had and sort of the interactions you've had? I think, Tim, you previously told me about some of the funny questions that people have asked you about that you would have never expected.
We like to show the movie in the big group if we can, because it's more of a great atmosphere. So the Prince Charles screening that you're talking about, Ross, you know, we invited kids from a lot of schools in the London area to come, and so, you know, have them all together. And we had a very important you know, kind of fancy one for the industry at the London Film Festival, and that was a great one. But then myself and Danny went over to Ireland for a great festival over there that's just for children's movies. And we had a couple of screenings over there, and it was all kids, and so they were just so up for it, because they didn't have to go and do maths that day because it was in a school day. They could come and watch the movie. So straight away we were already their favorite people because we'd dragged them out of maths, and they just they just asked us all these ridiculous questions afterwards. They wanted to know everything about everything. But I think, again, that was just so they didn't have to go back and do the second period of maths. But it was just I think that was my favorite screening. Was it yours, Danny, or did you? I mean, I remember that one fondly.
Yeah, they were pretty a raucous lot, should we say, in Dublin. That was fun. They didn't know us at all, yeah, so they could just treat us in any which way they wanted. That was funny. But you'd get questions like, did Shiv really fart? And did Woody really stand in the cow pat and things like that? So special effects, magic of the movies.
All the things that kids want to do, basically.
Didn't you use a stunt cow pat for that scene?
We did have a stunt cow pat. It was ceremoniously carried up there because we had to keep it level, you know, because it would slide off. And so there's, you know, those cliffs. I mean, you've seen them now. And so, you know, someone carrying the cow pat up like this, don't want to slip it, don't want to slide it. And so, you know, it takes about half an hour to carry it or genuinely put it down. And then James, who plays Woody, just has to come along and stick his foot in it.
All of that effort for one moment.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
That's
sure
filming.
lots of people, I mean, anyone who's made a film out there or whatever will tell you that sometimes you spend so long on one moment.
Yeah,
and
it was one of those.
You know, it's a wonderful part of the experience, I think. I think we're nearly there, everybody. I'm just going to check a couple of questions that have come in. No, I think we are there. Oh, actually, one last question, in actual fact, for everybody, before we go to the competition to win a DVD.
Mm-hmm.
Again, let's just do this in order. Well, actually, let's go reversal. Let's go Russell, Mark, Danny, Tim. What do you people
think you're doing?
What are you people on?
What are you doing?
Are you talking to me?
And so,
see, Ross, you've gone one question too far now. You know, you've pushed your luck now.
We've gone hysterical now.
You said my name, I suddenly woke up. I'm listening, Ross. Come on, mate.
I'll slightly rephrase it. What do you all think that the message of Who Killed Nelson Nutmeg is? The film itself. What do you think the message is? Russell, you go first. Put us out of our misery.
Give me the easy one to start with, yeah. The message is imagination, dreaming, go for it. Never be afraid. Have fun and enjoy it. Experience things. I think it's fun. To me, the whole thing of Nelson Nutmeg reminds me so much, and Tim and Danny and Mark would appreciate this, the Children's Film Foundation in the 1970s. You used to go to the cinema every Saturday morning, and you wanted to see the adventure movies, the kids, not Enid Blyton, but the modern day version of it. And for me, Nelson Nutmeg captured all of that, and there should be more of them, especially when Mr. Slug and Uncle Derek go out and Nick. Part 2.
Yeah, I'll give you a tenner in a minute, Russ. Yeah, I think the message of the film is it's about growing up, isn't it? You know, and you know, we all have to grow up and you know, stop being childish. But you can be childlike. Don't be childish all your life, but you can be childlike all of your life. Which is why I love acting as well, because it's playing. You're just being, you're playing, you're acting, you're being a child. And I absolutely love that. And the film is about that. It's okay to grow up. It's not so bad.
Danny.
Yeah, we played around with that theme, as Mark just mentioned, in a way of like, also when there's pressure on you to be a grown up, and sometimes it might be cooler to pose as kind of more mature. Sometimes it's okay just to be a kid having fun and having silly adventures, and that's fine too, as long as you don't go up on the cliffs, because it's dangerous up there.
Yeah.
One of the things that I like best in the movie is when they have to go and do the activities. So the archery, and the colonel has to do the princess dress up and so on. And the reason we wanted to put that in was we noticed that kids these days are very busy. You know, they've almost got a diary, and like 4 till 6, they're doing this, that, and the other. You know, when's the time just for goofing off? And that is what we wanted to make the movie about, was kids, they've got free time, and they're going to spend it doing the things that they want to do, which is being together and solving a mystery and making a difference, you know. So I always think that's important. Put time aside for just playing, you know, and being, as Mark said, being childlike. And so that to me is probably the message of the movie.
Oh, it's fantastic. So guys, just before we go, it's competition time.
Yay!
I think this is my best look, like this. to be in with a chance to win one of these wonderful DVDs of the film. Look how gorgeous it looks. It's gorgeous. All you need to do, please subscribe to the Evolutionary Films YouTube channel, because we are going to be doing more films and Q&As like this and other sorts of programs. We'd love everyone to stay and watch these as we go through these interesting weeks. We haven't even mentioned the fact we've been locked down, which I'm quite proud of until this very moment. All you need to do is comment on the YouTube channel that you're watching, essentially, with the answer to this question, which I can't remember. Here's the question. What is the name of the summer camp in the film? Just put that. Yeah, write that. I was trying to think of a question, but it takes a little bit of looking.
That's good.
It's the only one I know the answer to.
Russell,
Everyone knows this, but
Russell,
Don't let Russell win. Don't let Russell win.
All three copies have been run by a Russell.
Very close to the name Ross, isn't it?
We promised we weren't going to talk about that.
Look on eBay immediately after this.
No, please put that comment. We will pick the lucky winners in the next week, and we'll be in contact. So absolutely, please subscribe to the channel. Please make a comment. We hope you really enjoyed the film. If so, please, spread the word. There are many more shows coming up. I'd just like to say thank you so much to Tim and Danny, Mark and Russell for joining us today and giving us their time and giving us such wonderful information. And thank you so much to everyone who watched and for asking questions. It was wonderful to talk to all of you. Thank you so much. Brilliant.
Thanks, Ross. Thanks.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks,
Good to see you.
Yeah, just have a really marvellous day, and you really don't want to do that, do you?
Stay well.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.